The culture works because of the people in it. And most oftentimes I hear and read a lot of younger companies have an organic culture already culminating there. Now it's just finding out what are the characteristics. How do we start that conversation?
This is TYC 3 Yellow Chairs with Spanky Moskowitz.
All right, he wears different color shoes, glasses without lenses, and started as a barista in the Z Cafe. In his organization, he's known as the Culture Maestro, and his name is as bright and as cheerful as he is. I am talking about none other than the fabulous, the brandtastic Ryo Zsun from Zappos.
What a nice introduction. So honored and flattered. Thank you so much. And yes, I'm still not wearing lenses on my glasses currently, and 2 different shoes.
Well, and I'm wearing identical shoes, but I have lenses, so I'm completely opposite.
Well, I know a good website when it comes to shoes.
Oh, fantastic. I do too. In fact, the way you and I connected, Ryo, was when I reached out, I said, my wife is such a huge fan of Zappos. I can't tell you how much money we spend with your company, but I'm telling you, we could probably fund a small nation.
I'll be honest, we are not responsible for any addictions that may occur while shopping at the Zappos website, but we hope it's therapeutic in some way.
Well, what's really cool for her about Zappos, and one of the reasons she's become such a brand loyalist, is she's a tall woman and she doesn't have dainty little girl feet. She's got bigger feet. And so it's hard for her to go into a store and just find something on the rack. But Zappos always has consistently the stuff she needs, which is super cool.
That's amazing.
That is amazing.
I feel her pain. I have a Hawaiian foot. It is size 10, but it's also 4E wide. And that's the size I can't typically buy anywhere else I go nearby where I live. Because most businesses are focused on standard size, and where we like to cater to that unique audience.
And you certainly do. Please, whatever you do during our conversation, do not pull up our shopping history. I don't want to know.
Deal.
All I know is right before Christmas, we kept getting boxes every day. And I'm like, what are you ordering? And she's like, I need to find this shoe for this thing. And because their return policy is so great, I could try 5 or 6 pairs and see which ones fit. And I'm like, oh my gosh, they're going to hate us. They're going to stop allowing you to send stuff back. And
you've just described exactly what our customers love about shopping at Zappos. The ease of it, plus the free shipping helps, but the ability to try their clothing in the privacy of their own homes, that's something that people cherish. And then they keep the items they want, send the rest back. And I think it's a beautiful thing.
That is, for sure. So what I want to talk to you about today, and Ryo, the whole reason that I was excited to have you on TYC was I think culture in an organization is so critically important. As a CEO, as an entrepreneur, as someone who has an incredible team that supports me and my mission, how do you at Zappos, with such a large footprint, how do you maintain a culture, and where does it start and how does it continue?
It truly starts with making sure that we have the right fit for our culture here at Zappos. So finding the right Zapponians who can thrive here. And it's not about really the buy-in or that phrase you hear about drinking the Kool-Aid. It's truly about being in the alignment of the purpose of our company. And our core values are the driving principles to help guide us and find the right people. Once we got them in here, we let them go. They're empowered to really drive the organization. And
so what does that look like?
For instance, I came in as a barista, and I come from a background in coffee. And once I was hired, they really just kind of let me join the team and kind of build out the cafe experience. Back in our former campus, I decided to create a little music room. Of course, I asked if we were able to do that. Brought in my guitar, my keyboard, etc. Now it became this place of connection. People, Zapponians from different departments would come, hang out, grab a cup of coffee, and sometimes even jam out together. It's just starting the conversations, finding out who our resources are, bringing ideas to life.
No, I think a lot of companies screw this part up. I think culture, many companies believe that a ping pong table or a break room with free soda is what creates culture, and that's not really what creates the culture. So what actually builds culture?
I always say this to a lot of people I talk to in regards to this question is the culture works because of the people in it. It is truly up to everyone to be responsible to always engage and perpetuate the culture internally. Our campus here at Zappos is actually designed so there's always going to be serendipitous opportunities of engagement to build relationships, increase the bonds internally in the company. And it really truly strengthens our brand at the same time.
Now, a lot of people on the outside, and when I say the outside, I'm a consumer, right? I'm a consumer of your product, of your service. A lot of people on the outside, when Zappos was purchased by Amazon, everyone thought that was going to be the death of culture at Zappos. What's happened since that time?
There's a very specific relationship we have with Amazon. One of the three things that I do remember is that we still operate autonomously from them. They don't touch our culture, but my favorite one is that we are to collaborate and inspire one another. As far as changing our culture entirely, I've not seen that or witnessed that, but I do like the idea that to inspire innovation with our parent company is an amazing thing.
Now you took your sip. What?
No, I'm laughing because it says prop on it.
Well,
I'm
okay.
just curious.
So, okay. Yes, I sip loudly. So the reason it says prop on the bottle is because last week we filmed our first ever feature-length ad for my company, for Ad Zombies.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And so we had one of the scenes was our actress was sitting poolside with a cocktail in hand and an umbrella on it, and so this was the juice that made the cocktail, or part of one of the juices that made the cocktail, and it's been sitting in our refrigerator since we filmed last week. And I thought, okay, I'm thirsty. I'm going to drink this, so I'm drinking prop juice, but it's real juice. There's no alcohol in it.
Do more with less. And we're in Vegas. I wouldn't judge.
That's right. Hey, what happens in Vegas is shared on the internet. So
You don't want it on YouTube, though.
just remember, the days of TikTok and Instagram and Facebook, there's nothing you can do that it's all public.
Yes, we're in a whole new world today.
Yeah, which makes me want to sing a Disney song. Thanks.
You're welcome. I'm a bit of a Disney geek myself.
Oh, nerd out, really?
Yes.
So
I actually use Disney films as a way to connect with our customers when I'm taking phone calls in the call center. It's a really cool trick, especially if you hear kids in the background. It's a great way to build a natural connection with the customer.
So how do you do that?
I'll give you, for instance, one of my favorite calls is we had a customer calling in, and she had me as her representative, and I kept hearing her children laughing, but there's one particular child that giggled just like Boo from Monsters, Inc. That's one of my favorite movies. And so I told her that, and next you know, we had this big open conversation about Monsters, Inc., the movie, which led to other Pixar animations, and we just built this great connection. And as a surprise to her, I upgraded her shipping so she got her items earlier than she thought she would.
That is awesome. And that's part of the autonomy you have in the Zappos culture, is to make those decisions, to be empowered to do things like that for customers. And so is the culture built on serving the customer first? Like, what is the Zappos way?
So we have a wow philosophy in our company. Anyone we interact with, we want to lead with a wow experience. Our core 10 core values are the driving principles to lead us up to our ultimate mission statement, which is to live and deliver wow. So when we're on the phones, we are actually empowered to do the right thing for every customer, every phone call, every time. And when we have that empowerment with no limitations, guaranteed we can go above and beyond what the customer might expect. It could be the simple things too. Just even connecting on a human level, and a lot of feedback that we'll get is like, oh, it's talking like to a good friend or someone I've known before. I love that kind of feedback.
How do companies that are large, how do companies that are well established, how do companies that are just starting out create a culture that models or is built like Zappos?
So I hear kind of two parts to that question, because there are companies out there who are already kind of well established, but how do they always maintain that culture? And the other one is this young startup companies who are trying to build a foundation. for the both entities, I really always go back to saying, well, always remind yourself, who are we and why do we do what we do? Understanding and committing to the purpose and what drives us to be the brand that we can become and adhere to it. It's really committing to it. A lot of companies oftentimes don't, and their values and their purposes become decorations on the wall, or those companies no longer exist today, or they're being bought out by others, etc. It's truly committing to those purposes and those principles. So always perpetuate them forward.
So if let me switch hats here. I'm taking off the business owner hat, and now I'm putting on the employee hat. An employee walks into their employer's company and says, you know, I really want us to create this amazing culture, and I don't know what that culture looks like, but I see this company that I follow and I buy from and I shop from, and their culture is amazing. I want to learn from them. Can people just learn the Zappos way? Can people come in and learn from Zappos?
Well, if there's anything that I want people to leave when I talk about culture with them, our 10 core values are our characteristics. It's going to describe our brand. Our culture is our brand. Just like another company's characteristics or core values will describe who they are. It's going to not look like ours, but more importantly, it's the example of having to commit solely to those values that'll automatically create the byproduct of what their brand should look like. I hope this is answering the question for you here.
So if they go into their boss and they say, hey, I really like this culture, we really need to create a better, healthier culture, where does that person begin?
Starting the conversations. The culture works because of the people in it. And most oftentimes I hear and read a lot of younger companies have an organic culture already culminating there. Now it's just finding out what are the characteristics, how do we start that conversation, and building those ideas and finessing it down to we could define it to an actual value and purpose for the organization.
At Zappos, as in any organization, you have executives and then you have those new employees. Is there an iron curtain between those two, or do they interact with one another?
Yes, and I mentioned this earlier when we were beginning our conversations that we have different areas on our campus to always build connection and engagement. But one of the things I didn't share with you yet is once a person is hired, regardless of position, there is a 4-week training session that we go through. It's in regards to customer service, which is call center, understanding our culture, and also understanding our history. People forget we were a young startup during a time when e-commerce was new. But during this 4 weeks, they're also learning how to build connections with each other, understanding our core values. And these people are actually hired for different roles. In the middle of that 4 weeks of customer service training or onboarding, they actually get grouped to go on a scavenger hunt to build connections with people in other departments, people in finance and tech, in merchandising, etc. So it's very immersive. They start to learn how to build connections on their own shortly after. And it just helps to kind of set the tone for the type of culture that we are. And even a lot of leadership roles, they sit amongst the rest of the employees, just like anyone else. They're not hidden in an office anywhere. They sit amongst just every other Zapponian. So we're always building connections and always having conversations.
Now, I've heard through the grapevine, but I've not factually looked this up. I didn't get on Google and go, hey, does Zappos do this?
Didn't use the Google?
I didn't use the Google. But I've heard that Zappos actually offers not only tours, but culture meetings or culture jam sessions. Help me understand what that is or what those are.
So my initial role here at Zappos is actually, I'm known as the culture maestro for my love of music, but I give 4 tours daily here to people from all over the world. They're in the morning, 2 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon. They're 90-minute tours, but we actually take people through the office so they actually see the culture up close and personal. And that is booked through another company under the Zappos umbrella called Zappos Insights. And they provide other programs for those, maybe there's a School of Wow for those who are looking more into the customer service world, or maybe the 3-day culture camp, which is one of my favorite events, where it's a 3-day immersive look into all aspects of our business through different meetings and presentations. And then the 3rd day, we actually shut down the entire company. And this is quarterly throughout the year, so 3 times. And there is an all-hands meeting that's conducted by Tony. And of course, a lot of other Zapponians with their presentations, inspirational speakers, and then we meet up after for a little happy hour. So those are some things that we offer to kind of hopefully share and inspire our culture and more engaging working environment.
Sign me up. I'm going to bring my leadership team. And
Ken, we would love to have you. Please let me know if you ever come. I would personally love to escort you and your team around the campus so we could show you and meet other Zapponians.
I would love that, and I'm going to do a history poll of all of our shopping first, because I have to show you. I seriously have to show you just how many shoes she has purchased since the beginning of time with Zappos. It would fill my heart with joy to be able to present that to you.
I think that'd be fascinating to look at, and I hope that it makes her happy. As long as she's shopping and she's enjoying the ability, the free shipping, etc., then it smiles all to her.
She does. And, the culture of Zappos shines through in the customer service side and the wow experience. And it's fascinating that in today's day and age, with the volume of customers that you have globally, that you are able to provide that experience for each and every customer. That is truly wow.
That's my favorite part of working here. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but the reason why we train everyone for customer service is during the holiday season, we're actually in the call center during November, December, and January to help with customer service. So for instance, I actually was on the phones during December before I took a break from work. I just love wowing our customers. They're amazing people. Oftentimes when we do things for our customers, they'll reply back with, "Are you sure you're not going to get in trouble?" This is why I love our customers. They're so concerned about the crazy decisions we may make to create a wow experience as a wow factor for our customers. But this is what I love about it.
Ryo, how does a company maintain a wow experience without losing margin?
I can tell you this, that I know that the call volumes that we have coming into our call center, by empowering the employees to do the right thing for every customer, they're going to go above and beyond and even be creative to think outside the box in ways that always can create a wow experience. I will say that it's only probably about a good 3 to 4% that's the call volumes that we get in our call center. The rest is actually driven through our website. And unfortunately, I don't have those numbers for you.
That's fine. It's a question that's, as a business owner that has an online customer support, those are things that I think about. I'm like, how do you wow a customer every time?
So do more with less is a core value that we always rely upon, even since our early days leading up to present day. But we simply have art stations on every floor of our call center here at Zappos. So simply making a nice personal card and sending it to that customer can be a wow factor in itself. And I'll tell you, I spent my second year working here at Zappos in the call center. I actually have a little shoebox with cards that were sent to me by my customers that I was able to wow or give a wow experience to. And I keep that because I'm sentimental, but it always reminds me of why we are Zappos. It is the customer service.
So when I do come there for the tour with my team, will you make me a coffee as a barista?
Just add water. I'll see what I can do for you.
Just add water.
The cafe.
I'll bring my own cup of Starbucks. How's that?
Yeah, sure, definitely. We'll be able to help you out with that. Are you truly a coffee drinker?
I am.
What is your favorite go-to?
It's funny. Black Rock has become kind of a place that I love to go to. It's a local coffee shop. You might have them there too.
Okay.
But Black Rock. But I'm a like those the donut shop Keurigs, the little donut shop pods. Yeah. I started drinking those and I suddenly like those. So now I'm doing donut shop coffee. But I'm
the single serve or
yeah. I'm just a pretty plain coffee drinker. Like a little cream and sugar. I'm good. My wife likes all the frou-frou drinks. And I'm just not a frou-frou drink guy. I just, look, I'm drinking orange juice out of a prop container. Come on. I'm as basic as they get. Although my team will tell you that I am high maintenance in certain areas.
Well, you know what? Just as much as people are very particular in clothing and shoes, in the coffee world, it's no different. People are very particular in ways they enjoy their morning coffee or afternoon coffee as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. Ryo, if there was something you wanted to convey to small business owners, startup owners around the world in terms of developing their version of Zappos culture, right? Their inspired by Zappos culture. What would you tell them is the first step, the thing they can do today to start shifting that culture?
I would definitely recommend starting the conversations. I think that's really, truly important. Having the conversations will help identify what are the qualities that are our brand, who are we, why do we do what we do, and that'll help formulate and make the values a little bit more concrete and understanding the characteristics of what our brand should be. Because honestly, if you look forward ahead in 5 to 10 years from now, when people hear the name of that brand, how are their customers going to describe that? And that's something that we've done for ourselves. Anyone can sell shoes, just like anyone can sell fashion, just like we do. But can they be more than just that e-commerce platform? And for us, that's kind of something that's driven us to create the characteristics that describe our brand today.
Ryo, that was an awesome answer. And thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
And I cannot wait to come to the Zappos campus and bring some of my exec team to do that 3-day immersive experience with you guys.
Will you let me know? And truly, we would love to have you here with open arms, and we'd love to show you around the culture and meet some fascinating Zapponians along the way. I think you'll enjoy yourselves.
Awesome.